Most people think FPV drones rule the battlefield in Ukraine because they almost always hit their targets. The truth is the exact opposite. 3 out of every 4 drones miss, and that is still the weapon-changing modern warfare faster than the tank ever did. That is not propaganda. That number comes from the Royal United Services Institute, from a Ukrainian soldier who ran a drone unit and documented every sortie he flew, and from the commander of Ukraine's largest strike drone regiment. The man known as Madyar says his FPV efficiency sits between 20 and 40%. A Ukrainian soldier riding in War on the Rocks tracked his own unit's hit rate at 43% under the best conditions and 20 to 30% if you count the missions that had to be aborted. By the strictest measure, the majority of FPV drones launched in Ukraine never do what they were designed to do, and yet every major military on Earth is now rebuilding its doctrine around them. That paradox is the story of this video, because the FPV drone did not win the battlefield by being accurate. It won by being cheap, expendable, and mass-produced at a scale that broke the economic logic armies spent 70 years building around. Most viewers carry a simple assumption about how weapons win wars. Better weapons beat worse weapons. Precision beats volume. The side with the more sophisticated kill chain wins the engagement. That model worked in the Gulf War. It worked in the early phases of the War on Terror. It is the model every NATO military was trained on for 3 decades. Ukraine has broken that model in front of the entire world. Volume is beating precision. Cheap is beating expensive. And a weapon that misses most of the time is inflicting more casualties than artillery, tanks, and small arms combined. The question is not whether that happened. The question is why it happened so fast, and what it means for every army still thinking the old way. This matters right now because the numbers are not small or experimental anymore. Ukraine is deploying roughly 9,000 drones per day against Russian forces, according to Ivan Pavlenko, chief of Ukraine's Electronic Warfare Directorate. Ukraine is on track to produce between 3 and 4.5 million drones in 2025. Russia is producing at similar scale, and in the specific category of jamming-resistant fiber-optic FPV drones, Russia actually doubled its production to over 50,000 units per month in September 2025. This is not a niche weapon. This is the primary killer on the deadliest battlefield in Europe since 1945. An FPV drone is not complicated. It is a racing quadcopter with a camera, a radio link to a pilot wearing video goggles, and an explosive charge strapped underneath. The parts are commercial. The software is often open source. A basic armed FPV costs between $400 and $2,000 to build, depending on the warhead and frequency hardware. A Ukrainian volunteer workshop can turn out hundreds per week. A proper factory can produce thousands. There is no industrial empire required. There is no 10-year development cycle. A Ukrainian drone unit can test a new design on Monday, fly it in combat on Friday, and share the results across the front by the following week. Tanks needed none of that to be possible. They needed steel mills, engine plants, and training programs measured in years. The M1 Abrams program cost hundreds of billions of dollars across its lifetime. A single T-90M main battle tank costs somewhere between $4 and $5 million to build. Every tank on a battlefield sits at the tip of a manufacturing chain that took a generation to construct. That industrial depth is what made tanks dominant, and it is exactly what made them slow to change warfare. The tank revolution took about 24 years. The first tanks crawled across the Somme in 1916 and mostly broke down. It took until the German Blitzkrieg in 1940 before tanks fully reshaped how wars were fought. FPV drones did not take 24 years. They took about 30 months. The reason is not that drones are better. The reason is that drones are faster. To build, to adapt, to deploy, and to replace when destroyed. Here is the number that actually decides this story: $400. That is roughly what a basic armed FPV drone costs. A T-90M tank costs between $4 and $5 million. Even at a 30% hit rate, the expected cost of killing one tank with FPV drones is about $1,300. The target is worth more than 1,000 times what it costs to destroy it. No defense system in military history was designed around that math. The tank is not obsolete. The economic logic that made tanks dominant is. The The tank wins every encounter it sees coming. The drone wins every encounter the tank doesn't. There are 3 factors that actually decide why FPV drones changed war faster than tanks ever did. And all 3 come back to something the defense industry spent 70 years ignoring: the speed at which you can produce, adapt, and waste. The first is adaptation speed. Tanks evolve on 10-year cycles. A new main battle tank program takes a decade from concept to fielding. FPV drones evolve on 6-week cycles. When Russia deployed electronic warfare systems that jammed Ukrainian drone radio links in late 2024, Ukrainian units switched to fiber-optic FPV drones, a physical cable spooling out behind the drone, immune to jamming, within months. Russia then matched and exceeded Ukrainian fiber-optic production within another few months. That back-and-forth cycle between battlefield problem and battlefield solution now happens in weeks. It used to happen in decades. A mediocre drone deployed Tuesday beats an excellent drone still in development. Most people assume the side with better technology wins the war. Reasonable. But evidence from Ukraine suggests the side that adapts faster wins the war. And adaptation speed does not correlate with defense budget size. The second factor is the collapse of the surveillance strike gap. For most of modern warfare, finding the enemy and killing the enemy were 2 separate problems. You needed a scout or a satellite or a reconnaissance aircraft to locate a target. Then you needed artillery or a jet or a missile to destroy it. That gap, minutes or hours, is what allowed targets to move, hide, or disperse. FPV drones collapse that gap into one cheap system. The pilot sees the target through the drone's camera, and the drone becomes the strike. One operator, one drone, one target. No coordinated fire mission, no 6-step kill chain. Now flip it. You are a Russian tank commander in Donetsk. Your doctrine was built around the assumption that your biggest threats are enemy tanks, anti-tank missiles, and artillery. You have reactive armor and active protection tuned for those threats. What you cannot easily defend against is a small, buzzing quadcopter that appears over a tree line, drops down behind your position, and flies into your engine deck or open hatch. Your tank weighs 45 tons. The drone weighs 4 pounds. None of your defenses were built for this threat. That is not a hardware problem. That is a doctrine problem. And every major army on Earth is now trying to solve it retroactively. The third factor is the one nobody wants to discuss honestly. Precision used to be expensive. A Tomahawk cruise missile costs roughly $2 million per shot. A Javelin anti-tank missile costs around $80,000. Both are precision weapons. Both require industrial supply chains most countries can't access. FPV drones gave precision to any unit that could afford $400 in parts and train a 20-year-old to fly a video game controller. A squad of infantry now carries strike capability that a decade ago required a battalion of artillery or a fighter jet. And here is what should worry every traditional military. The Pentagon's Replicator program was supposed to field thousands of autonomous drones by 2025. It has not. The United States produces a small fraction of the drones Ukraine builds in a single month. Washington talks about mass faster than it builds mass. If the next conflict comes before that gap closes, the country with more drones, not better drones, will have the advantage on the ground. That is not a prediction. That is already what is happening in Ukraine. Here's the myth most people carry about FPV drones. They replace tanks. That framing is too neat. Tanks are not gone. Tanks are still the only system that combines heavy firepower, armored protection, and cross-country mobility in one platform. What FPV drones did was not replacement, it was forced adaptation. Tanks in Ukraine now move differently, hide differently, and fight differently than they did in 2022. They operate under drone umbrellas, electronic warfare bubbles, and top-attack armor upgrades that did not exist 3 years ago. The tank is still useful. It is just no longer dominant the way it was in 1991. The consequences ripple across every part of modern warfare. Vehicles are being redesigned with cope cages, top-attack armor, and hard-kill active protection systems tuned for small drones, hardware that was optional 5 years ago and is now mandatory. Electronic warfare has gone from a specialist discipline to a survival requirement at squad level. Every frontline unit needs jammers. Every formation needs drone detection. Camouflage matters more than ever because drones see what humans cannot. But the deeper shift is tactical. Frontline units disperse more, move at night more, and concentrate less. Massed armor formations, the kind that won in the Gulf War, are too easy to find and too expensive to risk. Artillery units fire and move within minutes, not hours, because a static gun position is a dead gun position. Logistics convoys use different routes at different times because a supply line that runs the same way twice gets hit. None of this was taught in most military academies 5 years ago. All of it is standard practice in Ukraine now. There is one second-order consequence nobody is talking about loudly enough. Armies that cannot produce drones at industrial scale are going to be at a structural disadvantage in any future conventional war. Not because drones are magic, but because they are cheap, lethal, and infinitely scalable. A country that builds 4 million drones a year has options a country that builds 40,000 does not. That is a supply chain problem, not a technology problem. And most Western militaries are nowhere near the production rates they would need if a major war started tomorrow. Right now, the cleanest way to describe what happened is this: tanks changed war through industrial power and breakthrough doctrine. FPV drones changed war through cost, speed, and adaptation. Tanks forced armies to build bigger. Drones forced armies to build smarter, faster, and cheaper, or lose. The revolution is not really about the drone itself. It is about the speed at which the battlefield now changes and the fact that a weapon which misses 3 times out of 4 can still win if you can field enough of them. What could shift this picture? 2 things. If active protection systems become cheap, reliable, and widely deployed against small drones, the balance tilts back toward armored platforms. If counter-drone electronic warfare becomes dense enough to make large drone operations impossible at the front line, the window closes. But neither of those changes is quick, and neither is cheap. The drone side is still adapting faster than the counter-drone side. The wild card is autonomy. Right now, FPV drones need a human pilot wearing goggles. That is the bottleneck. And it is also why the hit rate stays at 30%. The moment reliable autonomous targeting becomes standard, where a drone can find and strike its own target without a human link, the jamming problem disappears and the hit rate climbs. That technology is not decades away, it is years. And the country that fields it first will own the next phase of this revolution. Are FPV drones just the beginning of a bigger low-cost warfare revolution? Or will armies adapt fast enough to push them back into a supporting role? Drop your read in the comments. Subscribe if you want grounded military analysis without the hype, and next time we will break down the counter-drone systems that might actually work, and the ones that are already failing.